All right. Hello and welcome to Thursday night's product information call with the Detox Divas. My name is Landy Martin. I'm one of the divas, and we are hosting tonight and talking about the microbiome reboot. Now, if you guys were involved at all with the two calls that when I was away in over in the UK, Tina Heuerman hosted with the amazing Donna Hildebrand, and they did a couple of microbiome calls. Also, we had Kathy on as, I'm sorry, we had another call with another person, and I'm sorry, they're escaping my thoughts. If you know, put them in the chat. I don't remember if it was Kelly or what her name was, but we had another call also educating on this. Guys, this is so just incredible. And I'm so excited tonight to hear from Donna. So I'm just going to dive in real quick and go ahead and get through our announcements so we can cut to the chase and get to this education. This is our co-founders, Ben and Paula Scarcella, and the purpose here at Heart and Body Naturals was actually launched with the purpose of sharing the synergistic healing trilogy and just the power of plants, that's provided by our creator. And we are honored to be the only company that has the healing trilogy, which was formulated by world-renowned Alexandria Brighton. And how that come to be is that Ben was suffering from a rare condition called vasculitis, and they were in and out of hospitals. He was having flare-ups and acute emergencies. And what that is an inflammation in the blood vessels, and it can strike anywhere: your brain, your kidneys, your heart, really anywhere, and it can be life-threatening. So it was cool because, her dear friend Alexandria formulated this, what we now know as Mind, Body, Soul, the Healing Trilogy, and he took that twice a day and went into remission, and he's been able to stay off steroids, stay off pharmaceuticals, and keep his inflammation under control simply with the powerful healing properties of plants, which is quite incredible. Now, here's some more information on Alexandria Brighton. She is an aromatherapy formulator. She's a master herbalist. She has over 30 years of formulating experience. She's recognized internationally for her formulas and specifically her standards of high quality. So we're super proud to just have her here and have her exclusively with HBN. These are some of our or some of our manufacturing partners, sorry. Our products start here with pure raw ingredients. We have a research and development team, and quality is important to the owners of Heart and Body Naturals. They do source from the most potent ingredients, and Alexandria does formulate some of our products, and that's very important to her, and she is known for her ingredients. So with that said, if you hear anything on the call tonight, just don't take that as medical advice. Nothing that we talk about is used to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. I'm tongue-tied tonight. Sorry, guys. Oops. Okay. Next up, we have our Try Me product. Guys, you have a few more days, or wait, no, tomorrow's the 30th. So if you get your order in today, hopefully everybody's already capitalized on this. But if you're brand new to the call tonight, if you order 100 CV to try out some products, you're going to get a free Flexible. And Flexible is formulated to support and communicate with your muscular system. It's part of our whole body treatment system, which I'm a huge fan of. So go ahead and get that order in so you can get that free product. We also have some announcements coming up. Part 2 will be next week with, again, Donna Hildebrand. And then we also have upcoming July 13th, we're going to have Veronica Ortega on. These are always really popular calls. She's our essential oils expert who actually did an apprenticeship underneath Alexandria Brighton. So she's been trained with her. She worked with her and trained and everything. So she's always wonderful, a wealth of knowledge to have on. So we'll be having her on that week. We are going to go ahead and announce our fall liver cleanse and parasite cleanse. We'll be gearing up for that. That'll be taking place the 25th of August, and then we're going to engage in parasite cleansing on the 28th. So if you want information on that, please get back with who invited you to the call. Check your groups. All the groups should have the same information. We do a real good job of just coordinating with each other, making sure we have the same information. Of course, believe it or not, it's going to be back to school soon. We have an amazing, cool wellness kit now, back to school wellness kit that our CEO put together for us. And that call is going to take place on August 10th. So mark your calendars and don't miss those calls, you guys. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Let me stop my share. And do we have Donna on yet? Donna Hildebrand.
Landy, she's having trouble getting on right now.
Can she use her phone? Maybe she could just go ahead and use her phone would be better than anything. And if she wants to send me her slides,
She
Um,
actually did. If you can go to, if you're able to go to the chat with me,
okay.
you and her, she sent the presentation. She's going to try and get online with her cell phone.
Okay, it's not letting me minimize. Okay, here we go. Go to the chat with me, you, her, and she sent me her slides. Hold on just 1 second. Okay. All right. She sent me, this looks like Canva. It says log into your account. So, I mean, I'm not going to be able to, yeah. Would you let her know I have to have her log in to access that? Sorry, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. Donna's having internet problems and we'll get her on as soon as possible. Anybody got any questions in the meantime? I see we have a full house here tonight. All right, I see more people coming in. Let me check the chat real quick. Hey, Jess Saley, great to see you. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I'm excited too, Megan. Murphy's at work. You know, Murphy's always at work. When something's about to be like amazing, something always happens. Here's Chelsea. Guys, we must be getting people kicked off somehow. Interesting. We're getting people kicked off the Zoom and people not able to get on the Zoom. Thank you for your patience, you guys. We really appreciate you. Michelle, did you let her know that I cannot open those slides without her login information?
I did, and she's saying that the link's not working. It's not letting her send it over.
Okay, is she ready to just get on with her phone and maybe use her notes, or what would she like to do? If not, we can just do it next week or whatever. I'm good. I'm good with whatever y'all want to do. Just ask her. Here comes some more people. Donna lives out in the country. She has her own farm. It's really super cool. But I'm sure that, you know, the trade-off is having good internet connections on some days. Are they storming over there? Let's see, admit. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Well, I guess I could play some more music, but I don't know if there's any more Trust Your Gut songs. I think I probably got the two, the only two that were in existence. So do we just need to reschedule for next week? Donna, or Donnason, she's in a chat here. I really hope we can get her on, y'all. I was so excited for this class. She's such a wealth of knowledge. And, you know, she's been working on this, guys, for weeks. So this is going to be amazing. And it's also going to, you know, be linked to the other two calls that she did, but it's just more expansive, more information. You know, I love being armed with, oh, looky here, the woman of the hour. I love being armed with all the, you know, health information that we can get our hands on. The more we know, the better, right? The better educated we are, the better choices we can make. So Miss Donna Hildebrand, I think you're in the house. There she is. Oh my gosh, unmute. All right, girl. Let's see.
Hey, okay, this is really funny. I'm doing a call on rebooting, and my internet is just not working today. I live out in the country, so I'm in my car trying to make this work. I don't know how it's gonna work. I'm sorry. We're having a stall tonight. Let me just see if I can real quick, Landy.
Let me see if I can make sure you can share the screen, and no worries at all. You know, it happens, and yeah, it just allowed everybody, more people to get on.
Well, I can't share my screen because I can't open Canva on my computer. I'm on my computer, but I can't open Canva for some reason.
Okay. I can log into your Canva. If you want to send me in the Facebook chat your login information, and I don't mind doing that, and then I can share the slides, right?
Here it is. It's starting to work now.
Okay, and I think I have it where you can share the screen. So I'll double check and make sure, but I think I have it. Yeah, you can share. So
okay.
Oops, is that you? No, that's me. Okay.
Give me just a moment here to let it come up.
Take your time. I'm excited that you're on. We were about to reschedule. We're like, well, maybe we
This
should
is
reschedule.
really great. This is going to be really great if we can get it going. I don't know. We'll see.
Everybody's excited. Oh, I see it. Yes, Donna. Yay. It's working.
Something's
see
happening
it.
here.
All right, man. I'm going to mute myself. Oh, you know what? I never got your slide to introduce you, and I'm so sorry. But Donna is she's an advanced massage therapist. She's been doing that. You know what, Donna? Go ahead and tell them what you do. You're really awesome. And
okay, no problem. So, hi, everybody. First of all, I'm so grateful to be on the call tonight. I really am. I apologize that we're having all these technical issues. Happens sometimes. But yeah, I've been in the wellness industry for 25 years and studying nutrition. I've been a massage therapist for over 23 years and a wellness coach. And then just recently, I have a daughter. I homeschool her. She's 15. And in the last 3 years, we have moved away from the city and our suburban life, and we now own a farm, and we are attempting to learn everything we can and to create a biodynamic regenerative farm, which really kind of gives me this sort of, I guess, for lack of a better word, platform. I'm not trying to sound that significant or anything, but I've been studying the microbiome for a really long time, and the microbiome has a lot to do, has everything to do with biodynamic and regenerative farming, which is really what we need on the planet today. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get my other thing. So, okay, also too, this is really like, we're talking about the microbiome reboot, regenerate your body's full potential with a new operating system, kind of playing on the analogy, right, of how our microbiome is like an operating system for our body. And this, we're saying this is part 1 and next week is part 2, because this is going to be a 2-part call. But really, in a way, it's sort of like part 3, 4, because I actually did Trust Your Gut, Exploring the Miraculous World of the Microbiome, part 1 in, it was May. And I'm going to put the link here in the chat, because if you guys haven't had a chance to catch that, then I just want to really encourage you to watch it. There's so much information about the microbiome, and it's so critical to like our health and our future. So I can't really cover everything in 1 call or even 2 calls. It seems like we need so many calls to really go over it, and it's all so very, very interesting. So here's the link for part 1, and then here's the link for part 2. I'm going to kind of touch on a few of the things that we talked about in those 2 calls, but if you really want to get all the nuts and bolts, you're going to want to check out the calls. So that was, let's see, this was the part 1 and part 2 of Trust Your Gut, Exploring the Miraculous World of the Microbiome. So real quick, what is the microbiome? Just to kind of, for anyone who didn't do those calls and you're not really sure what the microbiome is, at its most basic definition, micro means small, and biome means living creatures. So the microbiome is a really vast and very diverse ecosystem of microorganisms that provide nature's critical capacity for energy metabolism, communication between the cells of all species, and even the connection and the communication between species, like plants to animals and everything. So it is, and it includes humans. So of course, it's the integrated community of bacteria, protozoa, fungi, and even parasites. And it exists all around us, on us, and within each of us. And I really love this idea, and it's not really an idea, it's really a truth, that the microbiome is the biological matrix of everything that is living on our planet. So in part 1, we looked at the microbiome in its entirety as how vital it is to life. And it really is the reason. It is the reason why we are here today. The very first thing that existed on this planet was bacteria. And without it, we would not be here. The earth would not even exist. And so we looked at in part 1 how like big ag, commercial farming, conventional farming has actually destroyed the microbiome in our soil. So often we hear this narrative and it's kind of true, but not totally true. And I'm really looking at encouraging people to change this narrative, just tweak it to the truth. The narrative is that all the nutrients, we have depleted the nutrients in our soil. And that's why we have a nutrient deficient food system now. And the truth is that we've killed the microbiome in the soil. The fact is that we have enough nutrients on this planet to provide for all of life, all vegetation, anything we require to be alive. But it's the microbiome's job in the soil to convert and to break down the parent material of the planet, rock, sand, silt, clay, and then they basically metabolize that, and their metabolites, or their byproduct, are like plant available nutrients. So if we restored the microbiome in the soil, then we would have plenty of nutrients for our food. So I hope that makes sense. It's super important. And this can even happen in the desert. This is a real picture of a family's farm in the Sahara Desert. This is one side of their property, of where they live, versus the other side of their property, using permaculture and biodynamic and regenerative practices. They have created a really vital farm in the desert. And there's lots of different, reasons why that happens. That's a whole another conversation. But I just wanted you guys to see that, because we would think there's no nutrients in the desert, right? But there are. As soon as you put the biome in there, it comes back to life. So how does this pertain to our bodies, other than the fact that us eating the food that's from a healthy, diverse microbiome soil is beneficial? Let's look at just the microbiome within our bodies. And that's really what we touch base on in part 2 of Trust Your Gut. So when we're looking at the microbiome in our bodies, we are mostly microbes. And we actually have 10 times as many microbial cells as we do human cells. And so we're really less human than we are microbial life form, if you think about it. So it's estimated that we have 50 to 70 trillion human cells, which pales in comparison to the 1.4 quadrillion bacteria and 10 quadrillion fungi inside of our bodies. Our genomic makeup is 150 times more bacterial than human, and that's not including the fungi, protozoa, parasites that are also part of our microbiome. And so our unique microbiome determines our genetics. Like we know we have genetic coding, but different microbes turn different things on, or the lack of microbes turn different things on. So I was reading, since the last call, I was listening to a University of California has been sharing some of their research on the microbiome, and they're calling it the new frontier of health. And what they discovered is that they can look at the microbiome in a newborn baby, which is pretty minuscule compared to the microbiome in an adult. Okay, you're not born with very much diversity or very much microbes at all, really, when you're an infant, when you're a newborn baby. But they were able to look at that anyways, and they were able to see specific bacteria that were missing in some babies' microbiomes. And across the board, those babies that were missing those specific bacteria wound up having asthma by the time they were 4. And on the other side, they had an overabundance of other bacteria that babies who didn't acquire asthma had, like more pathogenic type stuff, or just an imbalance. So really what we're wanting to do here is we're not even wanting to compare, good bacteria to bad bacteria, or pathogenic bacteria to beneficial bacteria. It's not about that. It's about having diversity so that the system can work itself out. And so that, even like H.P. pylori in this conversation that I was listening to, they were talking about how H.P. pylori, we think of that as a pathogenic bacteria or microbe. And of course it is. Like if we have too much of that in our body, we get very, very sick and even create some cancers with it. But it's actually required to stimulate the immune system to help us not get other diseases. So you can't, in that case, you can't even really look at a pathogenic bacteria or microbe as being a bad thing, because in the right amount, it stimulates our immune system, makes us stronger and more adaptive to the environment that we live in on the planet. So I became super passionate about the microbiome because this is my family here, my husband, my daughter, myself. This was back in 2017. My husband got a very severe brain injury from a pharmaceutical that he was mandated to take every year. He worked in medicine for 25 years, so he'd been taking lots of these mandated pharmaceutical products. And finally, one just, was too many for him and his body. And within a very short amount of time, it happened very, very fast. He almost became invalid. I mean, he at the time, 1 week before you see this picture, he could not walk, he could not talk, and he couldn't even he couldn't even look at me in the eye. If it was like looking at a baby that was brand new, newborn, and didn't have the ability to focus, like he couldn't even focus on me. And at that point, I very, very luckily got him in with a doctor. Miraculously, really, it was an answer from God that knew what happened to him, was honest with me about what happened to him, because a lot of them don't want to admit it, and knew what to do to start to pull out the toxins from his body. And they started filtering his blood. And within a week later, this is how he looked. We never really thought about taking pictures of when he was at his worst, because it was just all happening so fast and he was deteriorating so fast, we didn't really know what was hamining. But what I want to share with you guys today is that we detoxified him, we detoxed him, we remineralized his body, and we also restored his microbiome. And this, within 1 year, he had an 85% improvement. Today in 2023, so we're looking at 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, about 5.5 years later, he has a 98% improvement. Sometimes he has little shakes or something like that, or he maybe can't throw a football and hit a target with it because his brain isn't quite firing completely correctly. But if you talk to him, you would have no idea. He works very hard on our farm. He does hard manual labor every day. And he said he's never been happier to be alive, and he loves everything about it. So it's just a really cool story. And I share that with you guys because I want you to understand the personal experience I've had with rebooting the microbiome and the incredible miraculous power it has to heal our bodies, because it is the operating system of our body. So let's just kind of play with this analogy for a minute. An operating system makes it possible for users to communicate with the computer without knowing how to speak the computer's language, right? And it's not even possible for you to be able to use a computer or device without having an operating system. Well, let's look at this with our body. So we could say the microbiome makes it possible for users, meaning us, humans, to communicate with our bodies without knowing how to speak the body's language. Now, what do I mean about speaking the body's language? Do any of you know how to tell your body to digest your food? No, you don't even think about the process. You just eat the food and the body digests it. Okay, do you know how to tell your body how to release certain hormones at certain times of the day or certain times of the night so that you're wide awake or you're falling asleep? No, we don't know how to do that. I mean, there are things that we can do with inputs, right? But we don't actually know we don't actually speak our body's language. The microbiome speaks that language. The microbiome is the communication network and talks to our whole entire body. As a matter of fact, the microbiome, and we covered this in part 2 of Trust Your Gut, has been classified as a vital organ. It's not even human, and it's a vital organ in our body now. This is a really new thing within the last, I don't know, a few years. I can't remember when they decided this was a vital organ. But the reason why they're calling it a vital organ is because they realized through the gut access of all these other systems, there's 12 other systems so far that they classified as having a gut system access, that the microbiome is actually what communicates to everything in the body to make the body work. And it does this through its metabolites, or like whatever it metabolizes. I mean, in the kind of the kid way, you could say it's its poop, like we eat food and we poop out stuff. Well, bacteria poop out information for our bodies, like enzymes and vitamins and minerals and hormones and all sorts of things, short chain fatty acids, different things like that. So in simple words, an operating system is a program that acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware and controls the execution of all kinds of programs. So let's just think about this when we think about our bodies. An operating system is a software that performs all the basic tasks like file management, memory management, process management, handling the input and the output, and controlling peripheral devices such as disk or hard drives or printers. Okay, so let's kind of look at that, how that would be translated to our microbiome. Microbiome acts as an interface between you and your body and controls the executions of all kinds of bodily functions. The microbiome helps you to digest your food, regulate your immune system, protect against other bacteria that cause disease, produce vitamins including B, B12, thiamine, riboflavin, vitamin K, so much more. I'm just barely scratching the surface. And it is needed for blood circulation, which are needed for blood circulation, excuse me. And these microbes influence your mood, your cognitive function, your metabolic rate, and even the way you age. Just need a second here. It's just some, oops. So, let's see. All right. So is it time to upgrade your operating system? To reboot your vitality and diversify your body's capacity so it can perform the way it was designed to? Has your body been notifying you that an update is required? So really when we're talking about rebooting the system, it's about restarting the operating system as a troubleshooting process that takes us through a shutdown process and then starts us back up again. But don't be alarmed, because the only thing that we're going to focus tonight on shutting down here are the wrong inputs that cause the glitches in the first place, and then looking at the inputs that would actually make a difference for us and start to help create an environment where we can have a thriving microbiome and reboot our microbiome. So whether you're looking for a soft reboot, a hard reboot, or a full-on factory reset, hopefully you'll get something that's very beneficial out of this call for yourself. So let's look at the toxic inputs. We covered this before too in the other two calls. C-section, formula feeding, breastfeeding. I have so much research about all this stuff. And antibiotics, steroids, over-the-counter medications, herbicides, fungicides, pesticides, even synthetic fertilizers that are on your food or in your soil, synthetic vitamins, food preservatives, processed food, artificial sweeteners, sugars, conventionally grown fruits and vegetables. If you guys don't know about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, Google that and find out what that is. Find out which fruits and vegetables are included in that. And stay away from the Dirty Dozen, because they're toxic vegetables and fruits. Conventionally grown meat and dairy, stress, emotional distress, all that really has a big impact on our microbiome. Being in too sterile of an environment or having too many toxic chemicals around us, fluoride and chlorine, environmental hazard waste that just are in our environment, hand sanitizer, mask, probiotics. Yes, probiotics are actually not beneficial for the microbiome. Again, we covered this in one of the previous calls, so I don't want to spend too much time going over that, so we can get on to other things. But the probiotics basically it's just, you can only get a few species of probiotics in your body at one time, if they even make it to the large intestines. And there's a lot of research that shows how this actually creates dysbiosis or imbalance in the microbiome. And it's new information, so it might be shocking to some of you to hear that. But let's look at some of the inputs that we can do to help us. Breathing in diverse air. What do I mean by that? Like, go on walks and go to lots of different places and breathe in all sorts of different air, because there's all these microbes in the air. So every time you breathe in, you have the input of new microbes. You are adding to the microbial system of your body. Having pets is beneficial because they carry lots of microbes around. And again, don't think about pathogenic microbes. Just think about how many different types of microbes can I get, because that's really what you want, a diversification. If you can garden, please build a garden. Like, learn how to garden organically or regeneratively. In one of the calls, we talked about a group of kids in Hawaii that were all diabetic or had pre-diabetic markers. And for 3 months, they worked in a garden that they built, and they ate one meal a day from that garden. And by the time that this project was over, none of them had those diabetic markers anymore. not one of them. It is an absolutely incredible study. I really encourage you to go back to that second call of Trust Your Gut and listen to that. So let's so the things let's just go on to, since we're kind of short on time now, let's go on to some of the HB natural products that we can use to start to change the inputs in our body. We have 3 different types of biotics. We have prebiotics, postbiotics, and prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. So prebiotics are going to be what you feed your body so that you can feed the microbiome. And postbiotics are what the microbiome creates and puts out. And this is going to be really important for the 2 products that I really want to talk to you guys about tonight. Before I go on to those, I do want to mention Gut Check. It is kind of like our new flagship product for helping the microbiome. Again, I went over that extensively in Trust Your Gut Part 2, so I'm not going to go over that tonight. But it is an incredible product, and on so many levels, it helps the body to create a wonderful environment that is a invitation to other microbes that will benefit your body. But tonight we're going to talk about fulvic acid mineral powder. So fulvic acid mineral powder is actually a postbiotic. Okay, it's naturally occurring compound in soil, and it's created from the decomposition of organic plant matter. It nourishes the digestive tract, and it increases the body's ability to absorb nutrients from food, because the molecule of fulvic acid is so tiny, it can go into the cells. And most of us on the call probably know that it contains 70 different trace minerals. So it's going to be pulling all that nutrients into the cell, as well as any other nutrients that you eat or you take into your body. It's going to pull that into your cell. And it has this really incredible capacity also, once it's in the cell, to grab a hold of toxins that are in the cell and take them out of the cell. And then the humic part of our fulvic acid, because our fulvic acid mineral powder does also have humic in it, grabs a hold of those toxins in the gut and pulls them out of the gut. So for people who that maybe have the MTHFR gene, they may need to start in smaller amounts of fulvic in the beginning, but this is a really great product to help them start to detox, because they can't really detox on their own. That's the problem with that gene expression specifically. So it also helps to maintain proper gut microbiome through boosting the formation of a healthy microbiome environment. So it's really amazing that what the microbes put out actually support them in thriving and surviving. And you might not know this, but whatever microbes you currently have in your gut, they actually determine what other microbes can and cannot come in. And the way that happens is because if you have a dysbiosis and you have a heavy load of pathogenic microbes in your gut, those microbes are communicating to your body, and they're asking you to eat things that feed them. So you may notice that you have some really strong cravings for sugar or things like that. And when you eat those things, you're creating an environment that really supports the pathogenic microbes, but does not support the beneficial microbes. So that's why you really want to look at the prebiotics and what you're eating and what you're putting into your body. So I do want to just read a little bit more about fulvic acid, or go over a few more things about fulvic acid. And one is, I want to show you this. This is not our fulvic acid. This is just a scientific, these are some scientific images done from some study about fulvic, but not necessarily ours. So I don't want to mislead anybody here, but I do want you guys to see this. This is an image of the gut lining that was compromised by glyphosate. Now, these are all the tight junctions here, and you can see how they're weak and they're not communicating very well. The light shows communication. That blue light shows communication and connectivity. Okay, if you don't have connectivity between your cells, then your cells see themselves as being lonely or alone. And when they are, let's say cancerous, and they think they're alone, they have to mutate and become a tumor, because they think that they're the only last thing surviving in your body to keep the host alive. But when you have good communication between the cells are able to go, oh, there's all these other healthy cells. I can kill myself off and leave the host. And that's really what you want. So that kind of exemplifies this kind of idea here as well. But anyways, this is the gut lining that's supported by fulvic and humic acid. Now, these are pictures from the same exact gut, pre and post fulvic, and that had the glyphosate. So this is the same picture of this gut after that person had fulvic and humic acid. So I'm just so incredible. It really is. I'm gonna stop sharing real quick because I invite you to consider how the full restoration of our microbiome is the spark that can set healing in motion for not only you, but for the rest of the planet and for your kids. Next call we're gonna do is going to be more about how to help. I wanna unshare. How do I do that? Oh, stop share. It's going to be more about how we can boost the microbiome for our kids and why that's so important. Our kids are swimming in a toxic soup mess, and they have had such a huge disadvantage, way more than we adults have had, because when we were born, the food wasn't as toxic as it is now. And we weren't given as many pharmaceuticals as kids are today. And it was just different, you know? So we're going to talk a little bit about that next week's call, and we're going to go more over what are the prebiotics and what are the things we can do, not just for ourselves, but definitely for our kids, to really help the health of everyone. In my opinion, health, it means freedom. If we have health, we have freedom. I mean, can you imagine trying to stand up for yourself if you feel sick? You don't feel like even making the right kind of food for yourself when you feel sick, right? And that's the problem, I think. Not that I'm trying to be political or anything, but I think we just have so many sick people today. People are so tired and so exhausted, and it's really influencing so many things about the way we think and the way we live and things we tolerate and things like this. And it's not setting up a future for our children. We are our children's future, and our children are our future. And so we really need to learn how we can help them by changing this for ourselves and for them. Landy?
Thank you so much, Donna. Nailed it. Loved it. All the technical difficulties and everything. We're so blessed that you were able to get on tonight and share that with us. You did an amazing job as always. You're just so knowledgeable and so smart about all this stuff. I love it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to next week and, going a little bit more into what we can do because, practical things that we can all do is important. So thank you so much, everybody, for jumping on. And we'll be hosting again right here next week, same time, same place, because our other co-host is on vacation. So we will see you guys here. Show Donna some love in the chat. She did an absolutely amazing job, and we're very grateful to have her on the team. All right, you guys, you can unmute if you want. And let me see if I got it where y'all can unmute. Yeah, y'all can unmute if you want to unmute and say something. Does anybody have a question or comment? Marcus Jones is doing a biz op call starting at 8 p.m. So jump on there if you've got time. Invite your prospects.
Landy, I had a quick question. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Donna, amazing call. I love you so much. Your knowledge is so powerful. Those last two images that you showed of the under the microscope, I think, before fulvic and after fulvic, was there a time frame of how long they were taking the fulvic from?
I do believe that there was, but I don't recall what it was. I will look into that though and find out the answer for you and let you guys know.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you. I was just curious.
But
awesome
I would
call.
say it was a pretty short time frame. It wasn't like days. It was like within the same day.
Are you serious? Oh my gosh.
I think it was minutes. I think it was within an hour. It was under an hour.
Whoa. Wow, that's awesome.
I will confirm that, but yeah.
Okay,
wow.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're
wow,
welcome.
powerful stuff there. And that's a great image showing how that heals the gut. We have a question in the chat. 1 second. Rick had a question earlier about some oils. Just Saley. Okay, can you raise your hand if you have a question? I can't see if you don't because let's see. Richard. I'm looking for you, Richard. Is it Richard Fitzler? Go ahead. Is it you? You're unmuted.
Okay, no, sorry. My mistake.
Oh, wasn't you? Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
Landy, it was Rick Burnett.
Oh, Rick. Okay. Let me find Rick. If y'all see him before I do, go ahead and unmute. Sorry, Richard. Richard, you know.
He's unmuted now. Now he should be able to. And then
Oh,
Deborah after Rick.
Oh,
can you hear me?
okay, perfect.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you have the floor. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I wanted to ask you, I saw on the balneotherapy thing about the oils for the feet and the ankles when you have extreme swelling. And is that it says something about cypress and lemon oil. Would you do that with salts in a bath?
Yeah, you absolutely could add that to Epsom salt
Mhm.
and take a bath, and that would be great for swelling. Yeah.
Well, those are the two oils that you recommend too, also.
Yeah, even tea tree is a powerful anti-inflammatory. Does anybody else with a lot of knowledge on essential oils? Feel free to unmute. Anybody? Megan, Tina, Michelle, Donna, anyone else? Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And let me unmute the one and only beautiful Deborah Minchell here. She's got a question. You have the floor.
Okay, y'all are not going to see me. I just finished feeding the homeless. So I've been out in the sun for the last 2 hours. But I do have a question about the fulvic because I started out with the powder and oh my God. Oh my God. I actually think it's what saved me from my Black Widow spider bite when I was in Mexico. Seriously, I took it every day while I was there and was able to kind of recover within like 3 days. But is there a difference between the powder and the liquid? Because right now I am doing the parasite cleanse and it comes with the liquid. Is it better to do the powder over the liquid?
I'm going to find one of our fulvic experts. Megan, is she still on? Megan or Tina or Chelsea? Do one of y'all want to unmute and comment on that question?
Hello. Yes, I had to get away from the other room. We're packing for a trip tomorrow. For me personally, I feel the powder is a better vehicle to get it into your cells. It's way more potent than the liquid. But if the liquid is working good for you right now, you can try the fulvic later. But the other things that I love about the fulvic is I can make a face mask with it. I can soak my feet in it. I can take a bath in it. I can brush my teeth with it or add some to my toothbrush. And so I like the versatility. I just had a situation this week with one of my partners, and she was asking for some suggestions on a 5-year-old boy that has cellulitis. And I asked if she had the powder, and she only had the liquid. So it's situations like that I would always have the powder on hand.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome question. Awesome answer, Tina. You always deliver on the fulvic. Thank you so much. All
Hey,
right.
Landy.
Uh-huh.
I just shared the from HB Naturals from the back office on the balneotherapy. So if everybody is able to copy it from the chat, if not, it's in the back office. But there's a lot of different recipes on that link. And it tells you, depending on what kind of therapy you're using, you definitely want to follow the instructions clearly on the temperature of the water. That's really important as well.
Oh, wonderful. That's very helpful. Yeah, it's in the chat, you guys. So please copy that because I don't know. I haven't figured Zoom out how to record the chat. I need to figure that out. Okay. I don't see any other hands raised.
I can't find my hand raising, but I have a real quick thing to say real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just about the image that I shared. I honestly was hesitant to share that because it is not our product. And I actually encourage our team members to not share that image if you're promoting our product because it doesn't belong to us and we don't have permission to use it. But I wanted to share it with you guys on the call tonight because I wanted you guys to see the power of what this substance can do for us. So I just wanted to put that out there.
That's really good. That is wise. Okay, cool. Because I was about to share it. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. We will see you back here for part 2 next week. Same time, same place. Peace out. Bye.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Landy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Unmute. Don't be shy. Bye. Bye. Love you guys.